And look who we've got, Andy Taylor, Dan Payton. He's going to be the cameraman this evening. And look at the setting. Just want to show everyone what we've got here. Absolutely fantastic. The only criticism, as I would prefer a St George flag flying. But it's a wonderful setting. This is my next door neighbour, Dan Payton, who's going to be taking over the camera duties. Thanks very much for joining us, Mr Taylor. Do you want to take the hot seat, my friend? You can take that seat there. Feel free to help yourself to beer. Dan, it's on you.
We're off.
Are we running?
We're running.
Andy Taylor, Leek Town TV, thank you very much for giving us some of your time to speak to the biggest broadcasting company in Leek, the only broadcasting company in Leek.
Is that why they're the biggest?
Absolutely. Tell me, how old are you?
32.
32.
Going on 52.
Marital status?
Married.
Where do you live?
Stockton Brook now.
You used to live in Leek?
Yeah, I grew up in Leek.
Grew up in Leek. Who do you support? Who's your team?
You're going to like this. Vale. You know that. Port Vale.
Which football team do you hate? Do you hate a team? What, Dan? Chip in, Dan.
I'm not saying Stoke.
It is Stoke.
No, I don't hate Stoke. I have a lot of respect for Stoke now.
Bit unfair.
Working football, you have a lot of respect for Stoke.
I'll get to that. Don't steal me thunder. I'll get to that. These are icebreakers, really. At school, did you have a bright yellow coat?
Is that from Simon Beeston or Edward Siddle?
we do our own work. Did you have a bright yellow coat at school?
I did. I was very proud of that bright yellow coat.
I've got a bright yellow top. This is retro, by the way. I thought this might be your era, but you say it's before.
That's before my era.
Before, oh well. Not to worry. My next door neighbour, Dan Payton, cameraman, he followed you on Twitter. You didn't follow him back.
Did he not, Dan?
No.
I apologise.
I'll check.
Is it because of him, or is there a reason? There must be a reason why.
I don't really do much on Twitter. You'll be followed by 10 o'clock tonight.
There you go. Diplomatic answer. I like
I'll unfollow him by tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I say, do you work? I know what you do. Tell the viewer what's your occupation.
Oversee the charity at Burton Albion. So Burton Albion Community Trust. Head of community.
How long have you been doing that?
5 years now. Coming on to 5 years.
See, I imagine that's quite interesting. I'd like to do something like that.
Yeah.
I killed that one.
No.
Any jobs?
It's a great job.
Any jobs? Yeah, he was touting for a job before as well, weren't you? Not really.
It's a good club and I love the job.
They got promoted.
Yeah.
They weren't at Wembley, was he? The final. Have I got that wrong?
They got promoted automatically.
Did they? That's terrible by me, isn't it?
That's bad.
Good research.
Yeah, terrible.
Champions.
Terrible research.
Yeah,
champions.
They were Wembley the year before in the playoffs.
I'm a snob, you know. I follow Premier League and cut out the rest. Yeah, poor.
He says Leek Town top one.
Promoted. Yeah, well, I follow Leek Town. Okay, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, manager. Do you see much of him? He's a bit big, arguably, for Burton Albion.
What should I say?
Well, he's a big name, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's high profile.
He's a very nice guy, very humble guy, family man, and has fitted in with the football club really well.
He's clearly done a very good job.
He's done a very good job, and he'll manage in the Premier League. He is that good, but he hasn't got another side to him. He knows he's got to learn to be a manager, and it takes a lot for someone to drop down to League 2 and take that chance.
Is he on a contract? What kind of? How long is he contracted?
I think he's got 2 more years, I think.
2 more years. Do you think he'll see that out?
You never know in football. You never know. But if we're doing well and he moves on, then we're in a better place still. So I know he's very good.
That's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Leek Town Television. Do you watch any of it?
I've seen a couple of your interviews.
Yeah.
So Cords.
Yeah, Cords.
So Wayne
Corden,
yeah. Top man.
Yeah, that cost me about 50 quid that, because I dropped my phone outside his house. A new iPhone screen. It was an expensive interview.
I thought you were going to say Cords charged.
No, he didn't charge. No, he was very, what's the word? Hospitable. That's what he was. You've had a distinguished football career according to my notes. I've done my homework. Port Vale from 7 till 19 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I know it's correct because you've told me.
Then got released.
Got released? Are you too small for a defender?
It's a bit late now.
Was that a reason why Vale?
No. ultimately wasn't good enough.
Honest, candid.
If you're good enough, you'll make it.
Fair enough. It must have been interesting times when you were there. Stoke Vale rivalry derbies.
No, just after.
Just after.
It's when we got relegated from the Championship, and it was actually when the club was on a bit of a slide. It was tough a few years. Brian Autumn was manager. Cords was there.
He was there as
He
well.
was there as
wasn't
a pro, yeah.
He did better than you.
He did a lot better than me.
Oh,
Thank you.
that was a bit harsh, wasn't it?
No, it's true. He used to run rings on me in training.
Yeah, good player. He's been a good player, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a
in
good player.
fairness. Although, I don't mean to be disrespectful, I think you've been a fantastic player at local level. But again, we'll get to that in due course. Stone Dominoes and Nantwich. You went on to win the FA Vars with Nantwich against Hillingdon Borough. Is that
Yeah.
right? What year was that? That was not at Wembley. That was at Birmingham.
Yeah, it was
See, I knew there was something.
2006. So 10 years ago next season.
And you missed.
Should have been at Wembley.
Yeah, I was going to say because it was being built.
It wasn't ready in time. So we won every round. We were singing we were going to Wembley then.
You didn't.
We didn't.
Did you play? I take it you played in the final.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good team then. Really good team at Nantwich. Good set of lads.
Was it? Did Andy Kinsey play for the Leek play for you? Or was that a different Kinsey?
No, that was Kins.
The same.
Yeah.
Because I've read that he dislocated his shoulder throwing his shirt into the crowd. Is that right?
Yeah. To be fair to him, in the final, he was quality. He was
Dislocated his shirt, lobbing it in the crowd.
dislocated his shirt.
His shirt.
No take.
Yeah.
Shoulder.
Edit cut that bit. Yeah.
Great entertainment about it. But no, he dislocated his shoulder, throwing it into the crowd. No one actually knew what was going on at the time.
See, that's a good to have on your CV, really. FA Vars winner.
Yeah.
Next, Woolstanton, back to Nantwich, and then Leek Town, which is what we're getting to. With I think 2008 to 2011, 3 years. Does that sound about
Round
right?
about then, yeah. 2009. So, yeah.
Round about then, we'll go for that. Made captain. When were you made captain?
I think it was my second season. So probably captain for a couple of seasons.
So when you got there, was Wayne Johnson the manager? Who brought you to Leek?
Actually, Andy O'Connor. He was assistant manager. Wayne was manager, but I knew Andy from. I broke my ankle at Nantwich, and I've been struggling with that, so they took me there. Wayne was the manager. Didn't know Wayne at the time, but over a period of time, become friends with him. He's a good guy, and yeah, we should have done better over those 3 years. I think that's fair to say. I think it was a transitional stage time for the football club after getting relegated. They did a couple of years before, I think.
Well, I keep looking at my notes because it's a bit historical stuff. This I'm trying to remember. It's a bit vague in my mind. Wayne Johnson was sacked, and my research says 1 win in 11, and you got beat 5-0 at Clitheroe in 2010. Did you feature in that 5-0 drubbing?
Yeah, I did. It was. I think it was an FA Trophy game. I think it was. Was it? You don't know, do you?
I don't know.
Come on, what did you
No, I
research?
don't know. Sacked. Was it a fair sacking? I suppose 1 win in 11 is a poor run. Was it a fair sacking?
When you look at the results, you'll probably say so, but there was a lot going on, and the budget wasn't massive at the time. Like I say, I think the club had been relegated. There wasn't a huge amount of backing behind the scenes at the time. It was in my 3rd year. That was the 2 years before was when we should have, with the players that we had, gone and got into the playoffs and done better. Then we didn't start the season well. I think the writing was probably on the wall. I think Jono knew that as well.
Okay. I'm just reading. Andy Wayne broke the news to Jono. Andy Wayne, he's been around a while. And interestingly, Jono's been back at Leek. I don't even know if I'm allowed to leak that, but I think most people know he's been training with Leek this last.
Yeah, he's been at Kidsgrove last couple of years. He's only 52, I think.
52 years old, yeah. He's knocking on. I understand you and Wayne Corden were put in charge of team affairs at one point. Managerial. How many games were you in charge for?
2.
What was your managerial record? Played 2.
We won the first one. Lost the second one, and we should have won it. But Cords couldn't do one of the games. He didn't like doing midweeks. He wasn't allowed.
No, he wasn't allowed, was he?
No. But no, hopefully we steadied it, and then Coxey came in.
And he was there for the rest of the season. I mean, he's got
Just
pedigree.
before the end, yeah.
He's a good manager, I take it. What was he like?
Really nice guy. Again, he had no edge to him, thinking he'd been a pro. You could definitely coach out on the training ground. I think it was new to him, being in non-league. Some of the grounds we went to and some of the players, and it's not easy to step down. But towards the end of the season, and you look at the players that we had a really good team, and I think the results showed that as well the last 10 games or so.
So, and he said, or at least in the press, he departed the club for personal reasons. Is that correct, or is that a smokescreen for something else going on? Because, let's be honest, you know, Leek Town, there's always something going on. Was there something more?
You'll have to ask Coxey that.
I want to ask you.
I know you're trying to ask me. I don't know. Yeah, I think there was personal things.
Didn't Neil Baker, as Coxey left, didn't Neil come back in? Is that right? Have I got the?
Yeah, I think Neil was always coming back in, and the right thing for Leek Town Football Club. That whole season, everyone knew Neil was coming back.
I was going to say that was the worst kept secret, because as a supporter at the time, we knew that Neil was coming back.
John knew.
So
everyone knew.
Surely, as a manager, if you know that Neil Baker's coming, or at least you're hearing rumblings, that must be unsettling. And you must, as a player, that must filter down.
It's not easy, but ultimately we go and play football. That's it. But it's a little bit different with Neil though, because Neil's always been involved in Leek Town, and I know it more than anyone that it was always the right thing for Neil to come back involved at the football club, because it's not just on the pitch; it's the stuff behind the scenes and the influence locally. It needed to happen, and obviously it did happen in the end. And it needed that transition, because I think Neil was still at Crewe at the time, and then that changed. Well, obviously that changed again the year after when Steve Davis took him back in. But yeah, it wasn't easy, but we stayed in the league, and the club's been better for it.
Well, I'll put you on the spot a little bit here. How do you think the club handled the departures of Wayne Johnson and Neil Cox from a sort of boardroom level? How do you think they handled their departures?
It's difficult. Leek Town, there's always too much. Everyone always knows too much what's going on behind the scenes. It's always is, and I think that's
why is that? Because surely if something's behind the scenes, it should stay behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm digging here.
It's a bit like Leek as a town, that word gets around, doesn't it? And yeah, that's the only bit I would say there. It could have probably been handled a little bit better, but it didn't influence us going up or getting relegated or anything like that. And the end result, I think, was the right thing.
So were you there then, Kazza, Kenny BM, Kenny Scragg, Beebs? Were you there when them four were involved or not?
No, I left at the end of that season.
Right.
So when Coxey left, and then
you left. So you never played under Kazza?
No.
Okay. Did
I know Kazza, and I spoke to Kazza a lot, and I think he's again brilliant for Leek Town Football Club. Local person involved, really nice guy. First person to text me after my injury, which says something about someone.
Your recent injury, or your
yeah, but when I first did it about 18 months ago, yeah.
Yeah, fair play to him. Okay. You won various personal awards at Leek. Tell the viewer what you won. Player of the Year, did you win?
Yeah, the last season picked up quite a few awards and stuff, but again, it would have been
better on the pitch.
Yeah, we should have. Again, you look back in that 3 years. But then that last season we had Melbs, we had Devin Gibson, we had Rich Miner, we had Cords, we had Paul Taylor. We had some really good players in that squad. Danny Roberts in goal, and we should have done better. And I felt like we're starting to pull it together, and I think that was the nucleus of a few players stayed obviously the season after, and they did well.
Who was the best manager you played for at Leek Town?
We only had two.
That's a poor question. Go on then. Who's the best manager you've ever played?
Just because John will watch this, I'll say Coxey.
Coxey. Who's the best manager you've ever played under? That's a tough question, really, because you don't want to be disrespectful.
Probably Dean Glover. He was my manager at Vale as a youth team, and then at Stone Dominoes. As a coach, he was fantastic, especially when you're a young player. He was really, really good. Steve Davis was very good at Nantwich. and she's gone on to do well. Being fortunate, played under some
Good
managers, different managers.
Okay, players. We'll pitch to Leek Town. Who's the best Leek Town player you've played alongside?
Wayne Cords. Yeah. He struggled when he first.
Good player. I rated him.
He's class. He struggled when he first got there. I remember him throwing a corner flag at a player once. His head he couldn't get used to playing on the certain pitches, but once he settled into it, he was
Class, bit of class, yeah, a bit of quality. Okay, who's the best player you've ever played against? Ever? It's a sweeping question. Ever?
Could be me.
You,
Could
Dan.
be me, lads and dads.
Dan Payton.
Schoolfield, isn't it?
You see, you'd have had one of them playing against him. Nasty. Play on Tuesday nights, nasty.
Honestly, I don't really take much interest in players to play against. It doesn't sound great, I know, but I'm not bothered. And I often get people come and say, "Oh, that was X, Y, Z to play against." I
didn't really know. Just
care.
concentrate your own game.
There's a few. When I was at Nantwich, played against Jamie Vardy, and a couple of the Nantwich lads did, and he was decent at the time. He's gone and done alright, but I don't know.
You don't know? Fair enough. This is one I wanted to clear up. Assuming we have the date right, 2010, your departure from Leek. Okay.
Yep.
The rumour on the street that you left because you were offered a derisory monetary offer. They hate it when you go at money.
Go on.
So did you depart Leek because you were made a poor offer financially? Was money a factor in your departure?
It was the right time for me to leave at the time, and you alluded to a lot had gone on that year. I wasn't sure. It may have been different, but I wasn't sure I was 100% in the plans going forward the next year. And I felt like that season, you know the stuff I was doing, the junior section, all that stuff, and everything else, and a lot had gone on, and I wanted to be sure I was part of the plans going forward. And I wasn't sure I was, and other clubs really wanted me. So I was given that option to go elsewhere, and just felt at the time it was probably right to move on.
So money wasn't a factor?
No, it wasn't. I didn't leave because of money.
Because players do, you know, I know it sounds a bit harsh to ask you that, but players do, and things get suggested. So
I was honestly, I was offered less money than I was on, quite a lot less, and it wasn't really that. It was more a case of wasn't the money side. It's actually. At the time, I was wanted to be kept.
I was just about to say, you know, personally, if you're being offered less, it almost sends out an indirect message, doesn't it? I don't like that.
Yeah, but you've got budgets as well. Though.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, managers have to stick to budgets and what have you. But just at the time, there was a lot going on. There was a lot of players coming in, and I wasn't sure. To be fair to Kaz really tried to keep me. But there was no falling out, no dispute.
I was just about to say, was it amicable? There was
no problem at all. I still see Neil, I still see Kaz, see Neil at games like at Burton and stuff, and like I said to you, right person for that football club.
Did you go on to Kidsgrove after Leek? Is that where you went?
Yeah, I went to Kidsgrove after Leek. We had a really good season. We did really well in the FA Cup. Got to, I think it was the last qualifying round, lost to Bradford Park Avenue. And we had a good team, but then everything went at Kidsgrove. The chairman Mick left, but then Mick's back in, so they'll do okay now going forward.
Well, they've taken plenty of our players this time round.
Yeah, and it'll be probably another transitional year for Leek.
Okay. Which manager took you to Kidsgrove? Was it Wardy?
Wardy was there. Yeah, it was really Buck that took me, and Buckle. But like I say, they really wanted me to go, and it was tough. It was a tough decision because the best 3 years I had playing was at Leek. Most enjoyable years.
Do you have a highlight, standout moment? And I'll go for low light as well. Do you have 5-0 drubbing?
And strange enough, the highlight was probably one that stands out as well. Me and Cords had to take charge of that game at home, and I think we beat Carlton 3-2. I think Dan Coates scored a couple of worldies because he was there at the time as well.
Yeah.
And probably the highlights was that period there where I thought we were really starting to put a group together. Lowlights is just really, strangely enough, the end of season awards every year, because I picked up some personal stuff and everything, but there was never, we never did as well as we should have said.
No, I mean, I thought you were a great player at Leek. You play with your heart on your sleeve for me.
When you don't have much ability, that's what you got to do.
No, I mean you don't mean that.
Leek's suited me.
You were a great player. You were very, very committed. And you sat here now with a completely bust knee, which I guess is testament to the way you played.
That's Leek's pitch.
If I'm honest, playing Leek's pitch. So I'm going to touch upon your discipline record, which was very poor. Let's be.
It's not that bad.
Let's be. How many times?
Can I defend myself here?
I'm going to allow you. How many times were you sent off? Do you know in your career?
Until I went to Leek, I'd never been sent off once. So I know I haven't got a reputation of being dirty.
I wouldn't say that, but your discipline record was.
It's not as bad as what people think. It's nowhere near as bad as Paul Taylor or something.
Well, I did a little bit of digging, and I read that you were banned for accumulated bookings, at least on one occasion. Fair enough. Over 10 though that was at the time. That's poor. 10 bookings, no?
It's not that bad, is it, Dan?
No, that's not bad at all.
So my old time at Leek, I think I got sent off once in 3 years.
Maybe
that's not that bad, is it, Dan?
No.
Maybe it's not as bad as that.
And that was 2 bookings, not a straight bet.
And I read, you stick Andy Taylor Leek Town into Google. Discipline I put as well. Andy Taylor, Leek Town, discipline. And what I got was a Leek post cutting. Andy Taylor sent off in a game at Stamford, to quote, for losing your head. That was the quote in the newspaper. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Did you lose your head?
Odgie got sent off as well.
So 2 sent off.
Yeah, I remember me and Odgie sitting in the change
last 10 minutes. Head gone.
And he had it gone. Head had gone. It doesn't normally go. Maybe.
In fact, Neil Cox.
Cox, he was manager, wasn't he?
He posted onto Leek Town TV, our webpage last week when I announced. When I announced that you were doing an interview.
Thanks for announcing that.
He said that you had more bookings than games. your thoughts? I mean, that's not me saying that. That's Neil Cox, a player that's played at a professional who will know the game inside out.
Have you checked his disciplinary record?
I don't. Well, I'm interviewing you. Neil Cox. I'm sure he's jesting.
I can hear him squealing from here.
And spoof Twitter account, fake footballer. Who is that? Do we know?
No.
No, he hammers.
I know.
Do you know? Who is it?
I can't tell you.
Come on, who is it?
It doesn't take much working out who it is.
Well, we don't know.
I can't tell you.
It's not Darren Chadwick, is he?
I'll tell you. I know who's involved.
Tell us.
No, I can't.
Do you know, Dan? No. Okay, they tweeted last week. They tweeted. I wonder how long it would take for him to mention how he liked to kick people in reference to you. So again, that's another independent reference to your.
How long does it take?
I don't think I know. I listen. I'm trying to have a bit of a pop at you, just for entertainment value. You were very committed, and you're a great player for Leek Town. I'm sure you'd agree. Would you agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll give you a bit of credit. We're getting towards the end here. Your knee's knackered. How have you done that?
Did me cruise ship originally about 18 months ago.
Football,
yeah. I landed in training and it just went. And then tried to come back last pre-season. Actually went to Leek and guys invited me and did a couple of weeks at Leek, which is really good. But I knew it wasn't right. So I went and played a few games. Eventually went back with Wardy to Kidsgrove. And second game in, it just went again properly. So operation 2 weeks ago. So
what's in front of you now? What's the recovery?
It's about 6 to 9 months on my knee.
Is it Bojan injury? Is it same? Is that what he did?
That's just
Yeah.
Bojan's got one of my injuries.
Yeah, but you've got one of Bojan's injuries. So it's a long way. But are you finished? In your head, because how old are you? 33, did you say?
32.
32.
33 soon.
30, sat there, nearly 33, knackered.
Thanks.
That's You know, I mean, mentally, it's got to be hard to.
I've always found it difficult because I work in football and play football. It's always been difficult to train anyway. That's probably why I enjoyed Leek the 3 years more than anything, because I was working at the FA at the time, so I had no commitments football-wise playing or be working somewhere on a Saturday. So I was able to commit properly at Leek, and that was another thing. When I left Leek, I knew I was at Burton at the time. I was going to struggle to train as much, and I think Leek is it. You need to be able to train. You need to be able to turn up and do everything. Not sure I've got it in me to get properly fit.
It's hard.
But we'll see. I've done a little bit of coaching at Kids Grow. I keep my hand in, stay involved. We'll see what happens. I'm naturally fit anyway. Well, it depends.
So you're certainly not ruling out a comeback.
No, but probably. I think I'm done. Realistically, I think I'm done. I don't want to drop down. If I play properly. I'm not going to be like Jono and carry on just so I can get out of the house and carry on playing.
Well, we certainly wish you a speedy recovery. You know, hopefully you can. It'd be great if we see you back playing again. You know, we wish you well. Nearly at the end now, Andy. Nearly at the end. So you're not on the books at any club at the moment?
No, I was at Kids Grove last year. Like I say, took some training at the end of the season. Probably going to take a few sessions this season. So to do my coaching. So we'll see what happens. But my time will be taken up at Burton more than anything. It's a big season for them in League One.
Do you look at coaching and management? I take it that's the way coaching you've mentioned already. Are you going to take that forward, do you think, going into retirement as a player?
To manage, you've got to commit so much time. You look at the managers that do it. You've got to have a team of people around you. So Kaza can give up that time, it's local. Yeah, but he has Beebs and he has Daz. And I think Daz takes training, Daz is quality.
It's a bit understated, the amount of time they do have to put in.
Wardy is unbelievable. He's on the phone non-stop. So this summer he would have been on the phone non-stop to every single player, as you've said.
Every single Leek Town.
Every single Leek Town player. But it's practically a full-time job and he can give up that time. So doing a bit of coaching maybe, but like I said, my job comes first. I love my job.
Good job.
And it's something which, it's a career, so I want to get that right.
It's interesting. And Leek Town, do you ever get down?
I haven't been down for a while. I keep an eye on what they're doing. Obviously I know quite a lot of lads.
Can we interest you? Can I get you down there, maybe for a one-off?
I'll come down. I think they'll do alright though. I think they'll surprise a few.
Yeah, hope so.
I think expectations will be lower, which isn't a bad thing for Leek. I think it needs to be realistic expectations. He's got a lot of young lads who've come in. But the core of the team, you've got Tim who'll still score goals. You've got Danelik, Maguire, Shelley.
Yeah.
Chris Martin's goalkeeper. So I think they'll surprise them and they'll bring some players in, and they just need to get it local.
Yeah, it's transitional, so I think they've got to be patient. I think the supporters have got to be patient, let the new lads settle in. And
they've got the right manager there. Kaza will do well, and people just need to give it time.
Be patient.
They'll be okay. I think they'll still get around about the playoffs. Like Kids Grove will do well, but it'll still be difficult. And they're not paying loads of money. Some people say they are, they're not. But that's what happens in state. The players dot around different clubs.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty much at the end. I'm going to quickly say, Steve Taylor, your brother, over in America.
Yeah.
When you're back, give us a bell, drop us a message, we'll go for a pint.
And now he was dirty. He was a dirty footballer.
Steve Taylor, make sure you watch this and come for a beer. Andy Taylor, thank you very much for taking out your time. You're a good lad. You're a great player for Leek Town, and I appreciate you giving us half an hour to sit on Dan Payton's balcony with the delightful backdrop.
Dream come true, Dan.
Enjoying it.
Living a dream.
Living the dream.
He's made it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.